Declassified File X73. When Israel and Iran were secret allies. Essemes 1.0. Imagine a world with the two nations dominating today's Middle East headlines.
Breaking news in the Middle East and now escalating fears of an all-out war in the region.
Israel and Iran were not sworn enemies, but covert partners, sharing intelligence, technology, and even military secrets. This declassified file exposes a hidden chapter of history, revealing the astonishing period when these rival powers maintained a deep, strategic alliance, decades before their current shadow war, that will uncover the secret deals, the shared goals, and the unexpected figures who shaped this forbidden friendship. By the end of this video, you'll understand the deep, complex roots of today's Middle Eastern conflicts, how alliances can dramatically shift, and the profound, often shocking, historical ironies that continue to shape the region's volatile future. The birth of a periphery partnership. But why? Why would two nations seemingly destined for rivalry forge a deep, strategic alliance that few today even remember, let alone understand? The answer lies in a declassified Israeli strategy born from isolation. Our declassified file opens in the nascent years of the State of Israel, a nation surrounded by hostile Arab neighbors. In the 1950s, Israel faced existential threats from all directions, prompting its first prime minister, David Ben-Gurion, to devise a daring strategy, the Periphery Doctrine. The idea was simple yet revolutionary. Forge alliances with non-Arab or geographically distant Muslim-majority nations and ethnic minorities in the Middle East that shared Israel's strategic concerns about Arab nationalism and Soviet influence. Think of it as a quiet, geopolitical chess move, encircling the immediate threat. Among the most crucial potential partners on this periphery was Imperial Iran, then ruled by Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. The Shah, a staunch anti-communist and pro-Western monarch, saw Arab nationalism as a direct threat to his own kingdom, particularly the rise of Nasserism in Egypt and later the Ba'athist regimes in Iraq and Syria. He was a military man, a pragmatist. For him, the Arab League's collective power was a far greater concern than any ideological dispute with a small, Western-aligned state. Iran was also a major oil producer, but geographically isolated from Western markets by the Arab states. A secret connection with Israel offered a direct, secure route for Iranian oil, bypassing the punitive Arab boycotts. This wasn't about shared ideology. It was pure, cold, geopolitical pragmatism. Declassified diplomatic cables from the era reveal intense, covert communications between Jerusalem and Tehran, laying the groundwork for a partnership that would reshape the region. This unspoken yet intensely practical alignment of interests laid the foundation for a secret alliance that would last for nearly 3 decades. It was a partnership born not of affection, but of necessity, a shared desire for stability and a common enemy. The declassified truth is, while publicly discreet, the cooperation between the Shahs, Iran, and Israel would grow to encompass nearly every aspect of statecraft, from intelligence sharing to military aid, all designed to secure their respective positions in a volatile region. What were the specific, highly sensitive secrets these two nations exchanged? And how did this forbidden friendship quietly alter the balance of power in the Middle East? The declassified file reveals the astonishing depth of this cooperation. At its core was an oil for arms pipeline, both literal and figurative. Iran, rich in oil but under constant threat from its neighbors, secretly supplied crude oil to Israel, which was starved for energy resources due to the Arab boycott. This oil often traveled via a covert pipeline connecting the Red Sea port of Eilat to the Mediterranean port of Ashkelon. the coursed direct, secure route that skirted the Suez Canal and hostile Arab territories. In return, Israel provided advanced military technology, weaponry, and invaluable military training. Iranian pilots, for instance, were sent to Israel for training on sophisticated US-made jets like the F-4 Phantom, and Israeli military advisors became a common, albeit unacknowledged, sight in Tehran and other Iranian military installations. Israel sold Iran advanced ground-to-ground missile technology in a highly classified program nicknamed the Flower Project. This level of collaboration meant sharing strategic defense secrets that few allied nations would ever risk. The intelligence sharing was equally profound. Israel's renowned intelligence agency, the Mossad, played a significant role in training SAVAK, the Shah's infamous secret police and intelligence organization. While SAVAK's brutal reputation is well known, the declassified records show that Israeli expertise helped modernize its counter-terrorism and intelligence-gathering capabilities. Their joint operations were aimed at a common adversary: the rise of Soviet-backed Arab nationalism and the Ba'athist regimes in Iraq and Syria. Their work, for example, both nations reportedly collaborated in supporting Kurdish rebels in Iraq to destabilize the Ba'athist regime, forcing Saddam Hussein to focus inward rather than outward. Economically, the ties were vast. Israeli agricultural firms invested heavily in Iran, introducing modern irrigation and farming techniques, and engineering companies built extensive infrastructure. The Sierraleone was so close that Israel even maintained an unofficial diplomatic mission in Tehran, masquerading as a trade delegation, highlighting the deliberate veil of secrecy. The reeling was so close ensured the survival and prosperity of both partners, fundamentally altering the region's balance of power. This era, often dubbed the Golden Age of Israel-Iran relations, was a masterclass in pragmatic, realpolitik alliances. While public pronouncements remained cautious, behind the scenes, a robust partnership flourished, built on mutual benefit and shared strategic threats. This covert collaboration gave both nations a significant edge in a turbulent region, demonstrating how national interest, even more than cultural or religious affinity, can dictate the most unlikely bedfellows in international relations. They reported their secret alliance was so mutually beneficial. The Front Division, what cataclysmic event transformed these two covert partners into the bitter, seemingly irreconcilable enemies we see today? The tectonic plates of the Middle East began to shift dramatically in the late 1970s. The opulent, secular, and pro-Western rule of Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, though supported by the US and implicitly by Israel, faced growing internal dissent. His ambitious modernization efforts were perceived by many as too Western, too rapid, and too neglectful of traditional Islamic values. Economic inequality and political repression fueled widespread discontent, despite its Mossad training could not contain. Into this vacuum stepped Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, an exiled Shia cleric whose revolutionary ideology called for an Islamic state, rejection of Western influence, and a fierce anti-Zionist stance. He saw the Shah's relationship with Israel as evidence of a corrupt, foreign-influenced regime. In 1979, the Iranian Revolution exploded, toppling the Shah's regime and fundamentally altering the geopolitical landscape overnight. The new Islamic Republic of Iran immediately severed all ties with Israel, condemning it as the Little Satan, with the United States being the Great Satan. The Israeli unofficial diplomatic mission in Tehran was seized, and famously, the building was immediately handed over to the Palestine Liberation Organization, a chillingly swift and symbolic act of defiance. This was not a gradual cooling of relations. It was an instantaneous, ideological freeze. All economic, military, and intelligence cooperation ceased, The strategic calculations of decades were utterly overturned by a new revolutionary zeal. The transformation was absolute, yet the declassified record reveals an intriguing wrinkle that few are aware of. Even after the revolution, with Iran and Israel publicly sworn enemies, secret dealings still occurred due to shared, immediate tactical interests. The most famous example is the Iran-Contra affair of the mid-1980s. Despite the official animosity, Israel covertly acted as an intermediary, facilitating U.S. arms sales to Iran in exchange for the release of American hostages. Why? Because both Israel and the U.S., and Iran for that matter, shared a pragmatic interest in weakening Saddam Hussein's Iraq during the devastating Iran-Iraq War. Saddam, the former shared adversary, was now Iran's immediate existential threat, and the common need to contain him briefly superseded the new ideological hostility. This astonishing, declassified detail demonstrates the enduring power of realpolitik, even when overshadowed by profound ideological hostility. It showed that even amidst public condemnation, the threads of their shared past, or at least shared enemies, could still be pulled in absolute secrecy. So, if a clandestine alliance could shift so violently to open animosity, what are the direct, declassified links between that historical partnership and the dangerous shadow war unfolding between Israel and Iran today? The shift from covert cooperation to overt hostility laid the groundwork for today's regional instability. Iran, under its new revolutionary leadership, quickly became a vocal and active supporter of anti-Israel militant groups, most notably Hezbollah in Lebanon and various Palestinian factions, including Hamas. These proxies became Iran's primary means of projecting power and directly challenging Israel, bypassing traditional state-on-state conflict. Israel, in response, adopted a strategy of preemptive strikes and covert operations against Iranian and Iranian-backed targets across the region, from Syria to the very heart of Iran's nuclear program. This is the shadow war we observe daily, a direct consequence of the 1979 ideological rupture. But the irony runs deeper. The ghost of their past cooperation even haunts the crucial issue of Iran's nuclear ambitions. Declassified intelligence reports indicate that under the Shah, Iran had already embarked on a nuclear program with a stated aim of peaceful energy, but with clear dual-use capabilities. In fact, the United States, and implicitly its ally, Israel, encouraged and assisted Iran's civilian nuclear efforts as part of the Atoms for Peace initiative. While Israel did not directly assist Iran's nuclear program in its weaponized aspects, the broader scientific and technical exchanges during the alliance period indirectly contributed to Iran's overall technological capacity. Today, Israel views a nuclear-armed Iran as an existential threat, while Iran maintains its program is for peaceful purposes. The irony is stark. The program that began under a pro-Western monarch, with some Western and indirect Israeli technical assistance, is now the ultimate point of contention between former allies. The geopolitical landscape of the Middle East is now largely defined by this ongoing struggle. Iran's support for proxies forms an arc of resistance stretching from Tehran to Beirut, explicitly aimed at undermining Israel's security. Israel, in turn, conducts continuous intelligence operations, cyber warfare, and targeted military actions to degrade Iran's capabilities and contain its regional influence. The historical declassified files reveal that the current animosity is not merely a recent phenomenon, but the tragic culmination of a profound and sudden ideological divorce. The Periphery Doctrine that once united them now serves as a blueprint for their mutual containment. This is a chilling reminder that in geopolitics, today's sworn enemy was often yesterday's indispensable, if secret, friend. The declassified story of Israel and Iran's secret alliance is far more than a historical curiosity. It's a powerful testament to the volatile nature of international relations, where shared interests can suddenly evaporate in the face of ideological shifts. From the discrete oil pipelines to the shared intelligence offices, their hidden partnership shaped the Middle East in profound ways. Today, their bitter rivalry echoes that very history, proving that the roots of current conflicts often lie buried deep within surprising, forgotten, and now declassified files.